Welcome to the third outcome on staying safe online while you study. We'll cover using social media for academic work, protecting yourself and others online, keeping your data secure, and using AI with integrity. Here's what this outcome is asking of you. You'll use internet tools confidently and safely for your studies. Analyze how social media can actually support academic work and weigh up the issues around keeping people safe online. Alongside that, you'll learn to protect your data, your accounts, and your reputation, and to study with integrity, including responsible use of AI. Social media isn't only for entertainment. Used well, it's a genuine study aid. Study groups on WhatsApp or Teams share notes and deadlines. LinkedIn connects you to professionals and sector news, and platforms like X and Blue Sky let you follow academics, journals, and conferences. YouTube hosts tutorials and lectures. Reddit and subject forums host real discussion communities, and blogs and podcasts explain difficult ideas in plain language. There's a lot of learning to be had if you're deliberate about it. Let's set out the strengths clearly. Social media is free, fast, and available on almost any device, and it connects learners across distance and time zones. That peer support genuinely reduces the isolation of independent study. You get real-time updates on events and opportunities, exposure to expert voices and current debate, and a nudge towards active, collaborative learning rather than working in a bubble. Of course, there's another side to it. Anyone can post, so accuracy is never guaranteed, and reliability decays over time as links and posts quietly vanish. Algorithms tend to create echo chambers, feeding you more of what you already agree with, and misinformation usually travels faster than any correction. Add the pull of distraction and doom scrolling, plus the blurring of personal and academic identity, and you can see why care is needed. Putting the two columns side by side makes the trade-off obvious. The strengths are immediate: free access, collaboration and peer support, current real-world perspectives, and wide reach to experts. The limitations are unverified, variable quality, posts that change or disappear, bias, and echo chambers, and the constant risk of distraction and lost time. Neither column cancels the other. The skill is enjoying the benefits while managing the drawbacks. Reliability over time deserves a slide of its own, because it's a real problem. A tweet you cite today might be deleted tomorrow. Accounts get suspended, renamed, or set to private without warning. Undated posts make it impossible to judge how current a claim is. So always record the date you accessed a source, prefer stable sources for anything you'll actually submit, and screenshot or archive posts you're relying on. Let's work through a judgment call. You find a viral post claiming a new study proves a diet cures an illness. Should it go in your essay? Check the authority. Who posted it? And is there a named expert or institution behind it? Look for the evidence. Is the actual study linked or merely claimed? Check the currency. Look for corroboration from reputable sources, and ask what the account's purpose is. Is it selling something? The answer is not to cite the post, but to trace it back to the original peer-reviewed study, verify it, and cite that. If you can't, don't use it. Sometimes you'll want to reference a post responsibly, say, an organization's post. Identify the author, the year, and the text or title of the post. Add the platform and the full date it was posted, then mark it as online and give the web address. Finally, add the date you accessed it. A finished reference might read, "Get Safe Online, 2024, Protecting Your Passwords, this Cyber Monday, on X, the 2nd of December, available at x.com/. UK-GetSafeOnline, access the 4th of August 2026. A few habits will protect your professional reputation online. Assume anything you post is public and permanent, because in practice, it is. Be respectful, never harass, troll or pile on, and don't share other people's work or images without consent. Keep an academic profile separate from your personal fun. Check your privacy settings on every account regularly, and remember that employers and tutors may well look you up. Now to safeguarding, which is about protecting people from harm and abuse online. Some learners are particularly vulnerable and need extra protection, and the risks are real: grooming, bullying, and harmful content among them. Institutions have a duty of care to their students, and every college has a designated safeguarding lead. The key thing for you is knowing how and to whom to report a concern if one arises. The Online Safety Act, passed in 2023, is UK law designed to make online spaces safer. It requires platforms to remove illegal content quickly and brings in stronger protections for children against harmful material. Ofcom regulates it and can fine platforms that don't comply, and there are age-checking duties for higher-risk services. The overall thrust is to shift responsibility onto the platforms themselves rather than leaving it all with users. Protecting vulnerable learners is something we all share in. Learn to recognize the signs of distress or online exploitation, and never share another learner's personal details. Report concerning behavior to the safeguarding lead rather than trying to handle it alone, and use moderated official channels for group work. Respect confidentiality if a peer discloses something to you, and signpost them to proper support services instead of trying to advise them yourself. Let's talk about your data. UK GDPR governs how personal data is handled, and the principle is that it must be used fairly and lawfully. The regulator here is the ICO, the Information Commissioner's Office. In practice, use your institution's approved cloud storage, back your work up in 2 places, and log out of shared devices. And never email sensitive data to a personal account. That's exactly the kind of slip that causes a breach. A quick tour of the everyday threats. Phishing emails try to trick you into revealing your details, and malware infects devices through dodgy links or files. Public Wi-Fi can expose your data to snooping, while weak or reused passwords are easily cracked. Watch out too for fake login pages that harvest your username and password, and notice that attackers almost always manufacture a sense of urgency to rush you into a mistake. Let's dissect a phishing attempt. The email says your student account is suspended and you must verify now via a link or lose access. First, check the sender's actual address, not just the display name. Notice the urgency and threats, which are designed to make you panic. Hover over the link to see where it really goes and clock the generic greeting and any spelling errors. Never enter your password through an emailed link. This is phishing, so don't click. Log in through the official site you type yourself and report it to your IT service desk. Strong passwords are simpler than people think. Use 3 random words for length and strength, and make every important account's password unique, so one breach can't unlock everything. Turn on 2-factor authentication wherever it's offered, and use a reputable password manager to store them all. Never share a password, even with a friend, and if you hear a service has been breached, change yours straight away. A word on copyright, which trips a lot of people up. Most online content is protected by copyright, so you can't reuse an image or a piece of text simply because it's on the internet. Creative Commons licenses grant specific permissions, but you must check the license and give proper attribution. Where you can, use royalty-free or Creative Commons licensed media for your projects. And remember that referencing a source is not the same as clearing copyright to reuse it. Academic integrity underpins everything you submit. Plagiarism is presenting someone else's work as your own, so cite every idea, quote, and image you borrow. Even when you paraphrase in your own words, you still reference the source, and you keep careful notes of where everything came from as you go. Never buy or copy essays, that's contract cheating, and bear in mind that universities routinely run similarity-checking software over what you hand in. Let's build a Harvard reference for a study skills book. Stella Cottrell's The Study Skills Handbook, 5th edition, published in 2019 in London by Red Globe Press. Author surname and initial Cottrell, S year in brackets. Title in italics, then the edition. Then the place of publication and the publisher. The finished reference reads, Cottrell S. 2019. The Study Skills Handbook, 5th edition, London, Red Globe Press. The same responsible use principles apply to AI here. It can help you brainstorm, plan, and explain ideas, and it's acceptable to use it for generating ideas, getting feedback, or checking your understanding. What's not acceptable is submitting AI text as your own work. AI can be wrong, so always verify its facts and references. Follow your institution's AI policy and declare and reference your use of it when required. Here's how to acknowledge AI use honestly. Suppose you used an assistant to brainstorm your essay structure. Add a note stating how it was used, planning only for instance, and confirm that all the writing and analysis are your own. Reference the tool with author, year, name and version, and add the prompt context and access details. It might read, Anthropic, 2026, Claude, available at claude.ai, accessed the 4th of August 2026, with a note in your work that AI was used to brainstorm an outline, and all analysis and writing are your own. Let's gather some key terms. Safeguarding is the actions taken to protect people from harm, abuse, or exploitation, online and off. UK GDPR is the law setting the rules for handling personal data fairly and securely. Phishing is those fraudulent messages that trick you into revealing passwords or details. Creative Commons is a set of licenses, letting creators grant specific reuse permissions, and plagiarism is presenting someone else's work or ideas as your own without acknowledgement. A few more terms to complete the set. Malware is malicious software designed to damage devices or steal data. Two-factor authentication is that second check, a code, say, added on top of your password. The Online Safety Act is the UK law placing duties on platforms to reduce online harms. Digital inclusion is about ensuring everyone can access and use digital tools, and contract cheating is paying or asking someone else to produce your assessed work for you. Let's pause and check your understanding. Can you give 2 strengths and 2 limitations of using social media for study? Why does the reliability of social media sources decay over time? What 3 checks help you spot a phishing email? And how would you reference a study skills book in Harvard style? A few more to test the second half. What does the Online Safety Act require of platforms? Can you name 2 ways to store your academic work securely? What counts as acceptable versus unacceptable use of AI tools? And why is attribution still needed even for Creative Commons content? Have a go before we finish.